He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
Live from the Play Show, yet not overly ostentatious studios of 365 Sports here in beautiful New York City. Welcome on in to a Tuesday edition of the Zach Gelb Show. You can always get at me on the good old cesspool of Twitter or on Instagram, where I'm straight flexing at Zach Gelb. That's ZACHGELB. And you could also get at me on TikTok at the Zach Gelb Show. And whether you're watching us live now or consuming us after our show does air, Monday through Fridays from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 to 3 p.m. Central Time, you could always go youtube.com/@365SportsYT, youtube.com/@365SportsYT, and make sure you subscribe. All righty, we got day number 2 of the legal tampering period that is open. Tomorrow, the new league year does commence right at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's delve into it with the moves that have been made in the last 24 hours or so. I guess you could say now 26 hours, since you did have the legal tampering window open yesterday right at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So this is what we're going to do. A little fun exercise here. I'm going to give you the team. I'm going to give you the player that they signed or traded for. And we won't do Max Crosby. We won't do Trent McDuffie because we've had enough time to react to that. But I'll just give you, for the most part, players that were traded yesterday, players that were signed yesterday or today, and I'll give you the team that they were traded to or signed with, the contract, and then I'll give you 3 words or less on that player and how I feel about it. Let's start with the Carolina Panthers. Jalen Phillips, 4 years, $120 million. The 3 words or less that I'll use, more than expected. So I like Jalen Phillips. I think Jalen Phillips is a really good young player in this league. He's had an Achilles injury. He's had an ACL injury. His numbers do not suggest the numbers of someone that should be paid like he is a top 10 pass rusher in the NFL. I think yesterday's contract puts him in the 8th highest paid pass rusher in the NFL. Do I ever think he's going to be worth that? Do I ever think you're going to look at him and you're going to say, wow, that's a top 10 pass rusher in the league? Maybe for a year. That's a possibility. But do I anticipate him to start being double-digit sack master? No, I do not. But you are Carolina. You had a solid season last year. You are still very far away from being great. So in order to get a player of the caliber of Jalen Phillips, who's good, a little bit damaged, but is still very young, so he can recover from Achilles. He can recover from ACL injuries, had a solid season last year on a loaded Eagles defense. That's a guy that you're going to have to break the bank for. A lot of people just assumed that it was going to happen, that Jalen Phillips is going to be back with the Philadelphia Eagles. Once you get to that price tag, and the Eagles have already just paid Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, I know there's some rumors out there about some trade talk, and I can understand why the Eagles may be a little bit reluctant, even though Jalen Carter is a heck of a player, but a lot of off-the-field issues. I could see why the Eagles may be a little reluctant to pay Jalen Carter, but you got to allocate those dollars elsewhere. 4 years, $120 million is way too rich for the Eagles. If you would have told me that Jalen Phillips was leaving and going somewhere else, I would not have thought that he was getting $120 million over 4 years. So it's solid signing, but more than I expected. Staying with the Panthers, Devin Lloyd, a needed addition. Those are the 3 words that I'm going to use. He got a 3-year contract worth $45 million. Last year was the first full season the Carolina Panthers were without Shaq Thompson. Shaq did go over, I believe, to the Buffalo Bills. He was just a solid tackle machine. He was a guy that took up a lot of space on that defense and just made tackle after tackle after tackle. You bring in a linebacker now in Devin Lloyd, who last year, fewer tackles, had a bunch of interceptions. He's been someone that I like a lot coming out of Utah a few years ago. For the most part, he's been a tackling machine. And you lost Shaq Thompson a year ago. You needed someone similar, someone to replace that production. I think Devin Lloyd is a needed addition and someone that could pick up the slack that they were missing last year without having Shaq Thompson on that team. Falcons with Tua Tagovailoa. I don't think this one's official yet, but the expectation is by tomorrow. None of these are technically official, but the expectation by tomorrow is that it's a 1-year, $1.3 million contract with the Falcons. So with two of the three words I'm going to use or less, a calculated decision. This is a calculated decision by Tua Tagovailoa. He could have gone elsewhere, and it may not have been a good situation for him. I don't know what the appetite would have been for Tua Tagovailoa as a starting quarterback in this league. I think it would have been slim. Like, could he have gone to the Arizona Cardinals and potentially started right away? Like, possibility. It seems that the Cardinals are going to be going with Jimmy Garoppolo. Nothing official yet, though. And Jacoby Brissett to kind of have a little quarterback competition. That'd be underwhelming to me. But could Tua have gone to a place like that and had an easy path to get onto the field? I guess it's plausible. But he's a lefty quarterback. So is Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix Jr. coming off another knee injury. We don't know when he's going to be able to return. You're in a spot where Kevin Stefanski is a two-time coach of the year. You got Bijan Robinson. You're playing in a dome. You got Drake London. You still got Kyle Pitts, who got slapped at the franchise tag. I look at this two ways with Tua. One, he'll either be the week one starting quarterback because Michael Penix Jr. won't be ready and won't be healthy. And if that's the case, then what? You get a 4-6 week sample size to prove that you should be the guy, prove that you're the hot hand, a new regime coming on in where they're not attached to you. Or they're not attached to the old quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., right? This is an Ian Cunningham show. This is Kevin Stefanski show and a Matt Ryan show. This is not the old GM and Terry Fontenot. So you could, if you're Tua, maybe go play the first 4-6 weeks of the season and control your own destiny and be someone that the Falcons go, okay, this is working right now. We don't need to pull the plug on it, and we could delay the return of Michael Penix Jr. Or Michael Penix Jr. could rush back, could be there for week one, could have a sloppy first month. The team may not be playing well, then have a sloppy first 2 weeks of October, and then there could be an appetite with the Falcons fan base and say, hey, Michael Penix Jr., he's just not cutting it. Michael Penix Jr. is just not that good enough. And then Tua could get on the field, or Michael Penix Jr. get back on the field and then get hurt again. Because he's had a long injury history going back to his time at Indiana. So I look at Tua going to the Falcons. There's no risk here for Atlanta. It's a 1-year contract, reportedly $1.3 million. They're probably looking at this as Tua, if we need to start him, okay, fine, but he's probably the backup. It's a calculated decision by Tua, kind of similar to, and to a lesser extent, but similar to what Daniel Jones did a year ago. Now, Daniel Jones was wanted in Minnesota. Tua was no longer wanted in Miami. But Daniel Jones said, I'm not going to go back to the Vikings. I'm going to go to Indianapolis because they don't believe in Anthony Richardson. Now, I'm not willing to say that the Falcons don't believe in Michael Penix Jr. right now, but it is there is an ambiguous situation there, and there's ambiguity there on where their belief level is with one Michael Penix Jr. So I think it's a calculated decision by Tua Tagovailoa. Let's go to the Chicago Bears. Devin Bush. How about Devin Bush getting a 3-year contract worth $30 million? My 3 words or less for him, a career turnaround. Remember when the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Devin Bush and traded up in the draft to get him? He had that first good season, and then he was a bust. And the last 2 years, 2 years ago, I saw Devin Bush make some plays in Cleveland. Last year, I saw him have just a career turnaround. And now he gets a contract worth 3 years, $30 million. I'm not saying he's going to be worth $10 million a year. I'm not saying he's going to be a good player in Chicago. But the fact that he put himself in that position is really damn impressive from where he was the first few years of his career. Now, once you get that money, do you maybe revert back to some old tendencies and some old habits? Yeah, it's possible. But the Bears are a fun happening destination right now. I still don't know if Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are going to win a Super Bowl. I don't know if they'll ever get to a Super Bowl. I don't even know if they're going to get to a conference title game. Now, they had success last year. They got to the second round of the playoffs. They could have beat the Rams in that playoff game. There's no doubt about that. But the Bears now, there's hope, there's optimism, there's a vibe, and the Bears are a fun destination. Like the Bears are what I'll describe the Bears right now, kind of like Stone Street in New York City, right in the financial district. You go there in your early 20s, right? Once when you turn 21, and you're on Stone Street and you think it's just fun, it's popping, it's awesome. There's a vibrant vibe to it. But when you get a little bit older, you're like, I don't need to go back there. Now, some people end up going back there and they never end up growing up. But I look at the Bears right now as they are a fun summer party. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know when I'm going to get tired of going to that spot, but it's fun and it's happening in the now. Yeah, I remember when I lived in Philadelphia, there was this thing called, I think it was called Center City Sips or something like that. It was on like a Tuesday or a Thursday. I forget what it was in the summer. Happy hour time. And the prices were very favorable. The prices were very good. It was fun. But now looking back on it years later, was it the greatest thing I've ever attended? No. But in the moment, it was fun. The Bears right now are fun. We'll continue to see if they could take the next step. But the Bears, you want to keep on going back and you want to see more. Let's get to the Bengals. Brian Cook. 3 years, $42.5 million. My 3 words, a warm body. And you may be saying, huh, Zach? The Bengals secondary has been god-awful. The Bengals allowed the second most passing yards in the NFL a season ago. Now, a few years back, the Falcons made a move, and I really thought this was the beginning of the end for the Cincinnati Bengals. In hindsight, you didn't know it. But the Bengals had a really good, solid player there a few years ago in the safety position by the name of Jesse Bates, who's now with the Atlanta Falcons for the last few years. They've been missing him big time. And I've known they've tried some other pieces through the years. Brian Cook is experienced, even though he's still young. He's been a clutch player for Kansas City. He's won, obviously, big games. But you're bringing in a warm body there. This is a guy that has a pulse. This is a guy that I'm not going to say he's ever going to be great, but he's solid. He's good. And the Bengals just need warm bodies in that secondary and on that defense. And they're a team that offensively, if they could stay healthy, you always know they're going to put up a ton of points with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. If Andre Yosivas is still there, he's solid. Mike Gesicki, the tight end. You always know they're going to put up points. But you need to just have an average defense. You don't need to be great. You don't even need to be good. You just need that defense to be average, and the offense should be able to do their job as long as they're healthy and win some games. The Colts, they re-signed Alec Pierce, 4 years, $116 million. Here's my 3 words or less on this signing. Had better options. I think Alec Pierce had better options. I was just going through some of the names that Diana Rossini reported, and they may have even offered more money, according to Diana Rossini, the Patriots. All right, Alec Pierce, would you rather play for Daniel Jones coming off an injury, or would you rather play for Drake May? Personally, I'd rather play for Drake May. Even the Raiders. The Colts are a better team. The Raiders, though, they have Fernando Mendoza. Would I rather play for Fernando Mendoza or Daniel Jones? Fernando Mendoza, but I'm going to crush him for not picking the Raiders. No, I'm not. The Chargers. Justin Herbert or Daniel Jones? Justin Herbert. The 49ers. Brock Purdy or Daniel Jones? I'd rather play for Brock Purdy. So it's tough to knock Alec Pierce because he got $160 million over 4 years for only having one 1,000-yard season. And he's a player that you're paying for the future and not for the past. And I think he's an ascending player, and I like Alec Pierce. I don't know if he's going to be a number 1, but he has that connection with Daniel Jones. I don't trust Daniel Jones to stay healthy. And when Diana Rossini saying he could have gone to the Patriots, the Raiders, the Chargers, or the 49ers, I just think he had better QB options. The Chiefs, Kenneth Walker, 3-year contract, $45 million. Here's the 3 words or less. No Jeremiah Love. 2 weeks ago, every mock draft, the Chiefs are taking Jeremiah Love at 9. The Chiefs are taking Jeremiah Love at 9. Then the combine happened, and it was, hold on, the Saints are taking Jeremiah Love at 8. Now, the Saints ended up yesterday signing Travis Etienne. I don't think Jeremiah Love's going to be there even at 8. Like, you look at this, I would say right now, 1, 2, and 3 in the draft, if I had to do a new mock draft right now, I would say Mendoza goes 1. Personally, I like Bailey 2, but I think the Jets are going to go with Arvell Reese. David Bailey goes 3 to the Cardinals. You're sitting there at 4. Tennessee's a possibility. The Giants at 5, a possibility. The Browns are not taking Jeremiah Love. Commanders at 7. Jeremiah Love's going to go somewhere in the first 7 picks, the 4 to 7 range of the NFL draft. But the Chiefs signing Kenneth Walker yesterday, a 3-year contract, $45 million. Today, seeing also Isaiah Pacheco go land with the Detroit Lions. They're not getting Jeremiah Love, so they went out there and they spent some money on the Super Bowl MVP. Also, the Chiefs, they re-signed Travis Kelce reportedly to a 1-year contract worth $12 million. I look at that move, and when I look at Travis Kelce re-signing with the Kansas City Chiefs, the words that I'll use is this it? And I'll ask it as a question. Because I thought last year was going to be Travis Kelce's final season. However, last year the Chiefs, they bottomed out. They missed the playoffs, an abundance of injuries. I look at this right now. 1 year, $12 million. Kelce going back to Kansas City. I don't know if this is the end. Like, I don't know if this is the end for Travis Kelce. I thought if they would have won the Super Bowl up against the Eagles the second time, he would have retired then. He didn't want to end on a loss. He came back last year. He's chasing this ideal ending. And last year it was an unmitigated disaster for Kansas City. They missed the playoffs, injuries across the board. And now he's coming on back. You're getting the band back together. You got Mahomes. You got Kelce. Eric Bieniemy's back calling plays. Maybe Tyreek Hill's coming back around the corner. Who knows? Since he got released from the Miami Dolphins. I don't know where he's at, though, from a health standpoint. And he comes back, but this is the first time in a while where I'm not going to doubt Kansas City. They could easily return to the playoffs this year, but there's not an automatic conviction that this team's going to be great and this team's going to be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. And by the way, Garrett Ross, this 1-year contract worth $12 million, it could definitely help finance those home renovations for one Mama Kelce. Did you see that story by TMZ?
Yeah, why the hell are we doing breaking news for house renovations now? Is this where we're at? We're this desperate?
I'm not going to lie. When I saw breaking news about Donna Kelce, I thought it was something tragic.
Yes.
I thought she was like in the hospital. I thought that maybe she was caught out in public, and she's like a sweet woman. I've met her before. I thought maybe she was caught out in public, like going off on paparazzi. I was not expecting this to be, she's getting major home renovations. So maybe that's why Travis Kelce needs to keep on playing, because maybe Mama Kelce financially is relying on Travis Kelce to just push it in those millions her way. These must be some huge and spectacular home renovations.
It's got to be up there with the new White House ballroom or whatever they're doing. It's got to be up there, something like that. Yeah.
Also, so my dad's cousin, he wrote some episodes for Boy Meets World.
Okay.
So the guy that played Dr. Feeney, he turned 99 years old yesterday. Can I make an admission?
Yeah, go, please do.
I saw a post with Dr. Feeney, and it said 99 years old, and I didn't really read it that quickly, but I just saw the photo, older guy. I grew up watching Boy Meets World, 99 years old, and I just texted it to my dad yesterday. And I said, hey, do you think, he calls him Cousin David. I said, do you think Cousin David saw this? And then I responded back 45 seconds later, shit, I apologize. It's just that he's turning 99. Yes. I assumed it was a death post.
Dude, there's so many things like that. Like, we have to have these posts for everything. And when you get in those kind of realms, you initially, because I think we, our eyes adapt or we see it, and that happens all the time with that split thing. You get people confused and think they're going to die. It's ridiculous.
I've been on TMZ a few times for things that have been said on my show. The Travis Kelce algorithm, though, is because of the Taylor Swift connection. It's automatic. Automatic on TMZ. Entertainment Tonight once did a 10-minute piece on, I had a 20-minute conversation with Drew Tranquill of the Chiefs. And it was that first year they were together. And I said to him, I go, do you think this is going the distance, Drew, between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? He goes, I know the wives are having fun with it. Love is in the air. And him saying love is in the air. It was I kid you not. They played 5 minutes of the interview on Entertainment Tonight. They did like 15 minutes on me.
That's insane, dude.
But my buddies' wives and girlfriends are like, Zach is all on our TikTok. Zach is all on our algorithm. So,
spread the love, man.
That's why Travis Kelce needs to keep on playing. It's for the home renovations of one Donna Kelce. My girlfriend texted me today, by the way, Gary, and she goes, what is this meme on the internet now about Donna Kelce? I go, how do I know this? And you don't.
Right.
It's because TMZ had this breaking news report the other day that she was getting these home renovations, and people were like, this is breaking news now in the year of 2026. That's how you know the news cycle is a little bit slow these days.
Wild times, brother.
So, is this it for Travis Kelce? We don't know. Raiders signed Tyler Linderbaum to a 3-year contract worth $81 million. The 3 words or less I'll use here: protection for Mendoza. You're drafting someone, I'm not going to call him a Ferrari, but you're drafting a nice piece. You got a nice car coming on in. You got a car after driving the rundown, beat-up vehicle for years. You got a car that's a shiny object, and you got to protect that car. You can't damage that car. Going on in and bringing in Tyler Linderbaum, even though he's a center, it's protection up front for Fernando Mendoza. Staying with the Raiders, Nakobe Dean, 3 years, $36 million contract. This one may surprise people, my 3 words or less, but I think once I explain it, it'll make sense. A smaller Spillane. Robert Spillane, a year ago, left that organization to go join the New England Patriots. And Robert Spillane was a tackle machine in the middle of that Raiders defense. I look at Nakobe Dean. He's more athletic than Spillane, but that dude, when he's on the field, he's a tackle machine. Now, he's shorter than Spillane. They're probably the same weight. You know, Spillane may weigh a few extra pounds, but he's shorter. He's like probably 2 or 3 inches shorter. But Nakobe Dean is an athletic player. He's a really good football player, and that's a heck of a signing by the Raiders. The Dolphins, Malik Willis, a 3-year contract worth $67.5 million. My 3 words or less here: the Miami Packers. That's what the Dolphins are right now. The Dolphins, they would love to be like the Packers and just get to the playoffs and recently not really do damage in the postseason. But you bring over John Eric Sullivan, John Jacob Schmidt from the Green Bay Packers. You also bring over Jeff Hafley from the Green Bay Packers. And now you go sign Malik Willis from the Green Bay Packers. They are trying to make this be the Miami Packers right now. The Patriots, Vermont Jones, 3 years, $39.5 million. Hold on. I think we do have some breaking news. I just saw that out of the corner of my eyes on TV. It was something, and it's funny, it has to do with the Green Bay Packer.
I was looking.
It's Romeo Doubs. Well, hold on. We have a few things.
There's a couple of things. I was about to say, there's a couple of things I'm seeing.
So a few things here. Romeo Doubs with the Patriots?
Yeah.
4 years, $70 million for Romeo Doubs? Man, the wide receiver price tag is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce, $116 million over 4 years. Wandale Robinson also got a king's ransom too. And now Romeo Doubs, who's a nice player, is a fine player. 4 years, $70 million?
It's a lot, bro.
$17.5 million. I'm going to be honest. I don't love it.
You're not feeling it?
I don't love it. I want A.J. frickin' Brown. I want Brian Thomas Jr. I get it. This is not this can't be the sole piece for the Patriots. Like, they can't run into next year with just Hunter Henry, Romeo Doubs, Kayshon Boutte, and Kyle Williams. If he's the 2, I'm fine with that. And they could still go get A.J. Brown. If you have A.J. Brown, Romeo Doubs, Kayshon Boutte, Kyle Williams, Hunter Henry, okay. But I wasn't expecting, and I know that there were some reports about this, but Romeo Doubs is the move for the Patriots. It's fine. He's a solid player. But man, these wide receivers, they just keep on getting paid left and right. And I know you pay for the future and not what you've done in the past, and maybe things end up working on out better for Romeo Doubs. And he's a fine player, solid player. But even Wan'Dale Robinson, he got 4 years, $70 million. So would I rather pay, this is a good question, would I rather pay Wan'Dale Robinson 4 years and $70 million, or would I rather pay that same price tag to Romeo Doubs? My first instinct, Garrett, my hot take instinct would be I'd rather give it to Wan'Dale Robinson. That would be my hot take instinct right at first glance. Now, let me just pull up the numbers here. And I know both players, I know obviously Wan'Dale Robinson has had a little bit of an injury past. I think Romeo Doubs has missed some games too. You know, Romeo Doubs is 25. So is Wan'Dale Robinson. Last year, Wan'Dale Robinson, and now he's going back to Tennessee because that's where Brian Daboll is. 92 receptions, 1,014 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs last year, 55 receptions, 724 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That was the best year for Romeo Doubs.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have paid Wan'Dale Robinson if I'm just being honest.
No, that would make sense. Yeah, that would make a lot more sense. So what do you think that means for A.J. Brown? Like that probably means the Pats are out, right?
No.
They're still in probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
He can't be the number 1.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what the hell are you doing here?
Other breaking news here. The Jets.
Yep.
Geno Smith. The Raiders are sending quarterback Geno Smith and a 2026 7th-round pick to the Jets in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick per ESPN sources. Smith returns to the team for which he started for in his NFL career in 2013. Before the trade was agreed upon, Geno Smith agreed to restructure his contract. The Raiders still will pay the bulk of it, and the Jets will take on Smith's contract just over the veteran's minimum. So Romeo Doubs to the Pats, and Geno Smith back to the Jets. Stopgap for the Jets. No problem with it. You could have had Kirk Cousins. You could have had Derek Carr. I think in the year of 2026, let me ask you this, Garrett. In the year of 2026, Derek Carr coming back from retirement, Kirk Cousins as your quarterback, or Geno Smith? Who would you rather have between just those 3?
I would honestly have a tough time debating between Cousins and Geno. I probably would go lean Cousins, but I have no problem taking Geno.
Yeah, this is stopgap. The Jets have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years, 2 this year, 3 next year. They are trying to rebuild that roster. I know Jets fans have heard that for the longest time. But Geno Smith will be there for a year. Maybe he's a backup there next year, and they'll be getting their quarterback in the draft next year. I would be surprised. At 2, they're going to take a pass rusher, probably Arvell Reese or David Bailey. At 16, if they take Ty Simpson, I don't think that would be a prudent decision by the Jets. So that actually worked. We got a little breaking news right there to break up the 3 words or less exercise. I think it was at the Patriots right when I got there, because we were talking about Malik Willis, and for the Patriots, they did Jon Jones, and it was 3 years, $39.5 million. And then I saw the Romeo Doubs price tag come out of the corner of my eye. At least that's how I remember it. And my 3 words or less would be no more Chason. And now, is it a possibility that K'Lavon Chason does come back because his market's not as rich as what he thought it was going to be after having a really good season with the Patriots? I guess. But them allocating those dollars, it makes me believe that Chason, even if he's not going to get what he wants, that he'll go elsewhere and take less somewhere else because the Patriots weren't willing to give him that kind of contract that they did give to Jon Jones. All righty. I got a few more that I want to get to here. You know what? This isn't like traditional radio now. So I could actually just keep on going through this and we get to the commercial break later. So that's what we'll do. Patriots also signed last night Elijah Vera Tucker, 3 years, $42 million. My 3 words or less here: better stay healthy. This guy's only playing like 42 or 43 games. When he is on the field, he is an awesome guard or tackle. And what the Patriots are going to do now is they'll have Will Campbell as your left tackle, AVT, Elijah Vera Tucker is the left guard. They're going to move Jared Wilson from guard to center, the former Georgia player. Had a solid rookie season last year. Besides the Super Bowl, he was bad. Then Mike Owenu is going to be your right guard. And then in at right tackle is going to be Morgan Moses. This is a good signing if AVT is able to stay healthy. But the problem is the guy is rarely healthy so far in his young career, missed all of last season. The Saints, they signed Travis Etienne. It's a 4-year contract worth $52 million. My 3 words or less, and I'll ask it in the form of a question. Is Kamara gone? I already talked about Jeremiah Love with the Chiefs at 9, how he was probably not going to be there. That's why they go out there. They signed Kenneth Walker. I think a lot of people thought if Jeremiah Love's there at 8, the Saints will take him. I don't think he's going to be there either. And I think the Saints believe that too by going on out there and giving a 4-year contract to Travis Etienne. So my question now is they just restructured or they converted into a signing bonus the final year of Alvin Kamara's contract. Teams are calling, I read. Kamara wants to stay. Signing Travis Etienne, are you going to go 1-2 punch of Etienne and Kamara? That seems a little bit unnecessary. So I do wonder if now Kamara is going to be gone. The Giants, Isaiah Likely, a 3-year contract worth $40 million, a high ceiling. That's actually one of my favorite signings so far of the offseason, Isaiah Likely. Now, he's a player that is based off a lot of potential, and potential means you haven't done it yet. But you put him in an offense with Jackson Dart, who's an athletic young quarterback, needs to learn how to slide. You got Cam Scatterbo. You got Tyrone Tracy. You also have maybe they take Jeremiah Love at 5. Who knows? Maybe they take Cardinal Tate. You got Malik Neighbors. I know he's coming off the injury, but Neighbors is an absolute stud. I believe Isaiah Likely, where he needs to stay healthy, that's a big thing. But Isaiah Likely did show some flashes in Baltimore. I believe John Harbaugh knows him very well. That's a player that has a high ceiling, and I think he's going to have a lot of success with the New York Football Giants. The Steelers, Michael Pittman, they did it a trade, late-round picks. Then they signed into a 3-year contract worth $59 million. The 3 words or less that I'll use to describe this signing: the Rodgers return. You bring in Michael Pittman Jr., You also bring in Rico Dowdle, and you have Jalen Warren, Pat Freiermuth still there, DK Metcalf still there. That kind of seems like the team that's setting up the return of one Aaron Rodgers. Staying with the Steelers, I just talked about Rico Dowdle. It's a 2-year contract, $12.5 million. I thought he would have got a little bit more. I don't think he was ever as good as the way that he played in Dallas and Carolina. Like he's good. But they gave a ton of money to Chuba Hubbard, and you could sense some tension between Hubbard and Dowdle. I'm not saying it was nasty, but Dowdle had a lot of success when Hubbard was out, and then there were some inconsistencies with his carries. I look at Rico Dowdle with Jalen Warren, That's a solid 1-2 punch, and it gives the Steelers, enough to work with in the backfield. The 49ers obviously signed Mike Evans, 3-year contract, $60.4 million, up to $60.4 million. My 3 words or less here, the next chapter. And the next chapter is probably the final chapter. A lot of people never envisioned him leaving Tampa Bay. The sense you got in this free agency period, in this free agency cycle, once the season did end, that they're probably going to lose Mike Evans. They re-signed Chris Godwin the other year, big contract. You also have the emergence of Emeka Egbuka, who was good last year. Now he goes on to the next chapter. Mike Evans, is he a lock to win another Super Bowl? No. Will he be a Hall of Famer one day? Yes. Has he already won a Super Bowl? Yes. Does he need that other Super Bowl? No. But now you're with the team with the Niners that they still got a lot of work to do. And they're not a foregone conclusion to get back to the Super Bowl like they were a few years ago. But that's a team that's at least in the mix and that you could at least envision it, where if you stayed in Tampa, it would be, okay, what's your version of winning a Super Bowl? Winning the NFC South? Winning a playoff game, maybe? If he wants to go back to getting in that feeling of having a legitimate chance of winning a Super Bowl, he needed to leave. And the destination he ended up going to were the 49ers. Like I said yesterday, I would have, if I was him, I would have maybe gone to Baltimore. You put Mike Evans in Baltimore, that would have been a lot of fun to watch. Evans, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. That would have been a lot of fun to watch, and it would have been really tough to stop them in the red zone. The Tennessee Titans, 4 years, $70 million on Wan'Dale Robinson. Air it out. Those are the 3 words or less. That's a deep threat for Cam Ward. That's a player that's familiar with Brian Daboll, the former coach of the Giants, and the offensive coordinator, and he's a deep threat. They're going to air it out a lot to Wan'Dale Robinson from Cam Ward. And then finally, I'll give you one more. I'll hit your Commanders there, Mr. Garrett Ross. Odafe Owe, 4 years, $100 million. Like, does he look like a player that is worth $100 million over 4 years? No. But he is a good player.
He's good.
So the 3 words I'm going to use here, the young money. The Commanders were an old, decrepit defense. The Commanders are a fine destination. They're not the ugly redheaded stepchild like they were for all those years. Daniel Snyder, ding dong, the witch is dead. And you have a new ownership group in there, new GM, new head coach. They need younger players. And when you're not the most attractive girl or the most attractive guy, and you're a destination, that's fine, but you're not Ken or you're not Barbie, you sometimes got to throw money at people in order to get them to pay attention to you. So Odafe Owe is a good player. Now he needs to be a great player when you get $100 million over 4 years. But they needed a facelift. They needed to get younger. And now they are getting younger when you take a glance at the Washington Commanders bringing in Odafe Owe. All righty. So Geno Smith is getting traded to the Jets. Who says you can't go home? And then 4 years, $70 million for Romeo Doubs. As Romeo Doubs is making his way to one Patriot place. Now, you do have the GM of the Patriots, Elliott Wolf. He is a Packer guy. And I'm just spitballing here for a second. Elliott Wolf, how long? I know Elliott Wolf, that was after Belichick, so it can't be that long. He must have had crossover in Green Bay. Yeah. Actually, maybe not. Wow. They brought in Elliott Wolf as a consultant in 2020. Oh, he's with Green Bay before that 2018 to 2019. So he probably did not have familiarity with Romeo Doubs because Elliott Wolf was last in Green Bay in 2017. And Doubs, I think he's been in the league for like 5 years, I'm going to say, maybe 4 years for Romeo Doubs. I've interviewed him before. Yeah, 4 years. So it's going to be his 5th year. He's a solid player. But man, it's starting to feel like NBA money, Garrett, a little bit. For like, you get some of these players that get these crazy contracts, and you go, whoa, that's a lot of money for that guy. And Romeo, that feels like NBA money a little bit. And remember all those knuckleheads that said, "Oh, the NBA is about to usurp the NFL."
Right. Yeah.
And look at the NFL; it's king. It's 365 days out of the year, and they've had the first 2 days. Free agency has been fun. You know, today it's kind of died off a little bit, but there's things to react to. You had trades leading up to it with Trent McDuffie, with Max Crosby as well. The situation with AJ Brown, where is he going to go? So there's stuff out there, obviously, with the NFL where it's not how it was used to be covered, and the NFL just keeps on going up billions and billions and billions of dollars, and the NBA is obviously very lucrative. But what's the big debate now in the NBA? Do we need to shorten the regular season to get our players to actually care? And we got to put rules in place, awards. You can't win an award if you don't play 65 games, or we got to create this Fugazi in-season tournament, the whatever, the Emirates Cup, to get players to actually care about the regular season. It's wild. Where the NFL, their offseason wasn't always happening. But the last half decade, the offseason has been booming. The regular season is always booming. And the postseason is always booming. Sound like a Costco guy. Bring the boom. No doubt about that. Zach Gelb here with you on 365 Sports. We will take a timeout. We'll come on back after these short messages.
A 4-burner, side sear burner with Clearview Glass stainless steel grill from Monument Grills. Made of tempered glass, which is strong, insulated, and allows you to check your grilling without lifting the lid. Our porcelain-coated cast iron cooking grids offer a large cooking surface of 513.3 square inches, primary cooking area, with even heat cooking. The Monument grills include LED control knobs and are easy to light with pilotless electronic ignition. Better grilling, better value, Monument Grills.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
I'm Abby Dommett, 2023 CrossFit Games athlete, and I use Airwave because it helps me breathe easier and stay more relaxed during my workouts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Very discreet.
He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
All righty, welcome back in. It is the Zach Gelb Show right here on 365 Sports. Geno Smith traded back to the Jets from the Raiders, and Romeo Doubs, a 4-year contract worth $70 million to the New England Patriots. Now, Garrett, I have some intel on this, and I'm curious what you think about this.
All right.
Romeo Doubs, according to Jordan Schultz, entertained tangible interest from the Commanders, and it was very close to the end, but he chooses New England. Your thoughts?
Let
me tell you, Romeo Doubs, home run move for the Patriots. I love this. You took it from your Commanders. Fuck you.
I can't blame it, man. I think there's more to like. There's more future stability in New England right now than what you have in Washington. I think either way, if you're looking at playing with an elite quarterback or a great quarterback, you couldn't go wrong there. But I think there's too much uncertainty about Dan Quinn. I think he's got a lot to prove this year, where if you look at Vrabel in that situation, everything kind of seems to be steady up there in Foxborough. So I don't blame him. Would I like to have him in Washington? Yes, but I can't knock him for making the decision he did.
Can I tell you what this tells me?
Yeah, please.
You just said a lot of things that make sense. So I'm not just being a jackass here.
Oh, feel free.
Would you rather play for Drake May or you rather play for Jaden Daniels?
I mean, I'm gonna sound a homer. I'd rather play for Jaden Daniels.
Okay, why?
Because I'm a homer. No, I think both of them are good quarterbacks. I don't think you're really going wrong with either one. I think Daniels is a more efficient quarterback, but I'm worried about his ability to stay healthy for the long term.
Yeah.
Whereas with Drake May, I think he's kind of built for the NFL, like his frame and everything. I think he knows like when to get down. I think kind of being that pocket presence quarterback more so than the runner first. But either way, I still think it's hard to choose. Like I think you can't go wrong with either one. But I guess it's just me being a homer is why I would go with Daniels.
So the low-hanging fruit with Jaden Daniels, great first year,
Correct.
Injury-plagued second year.
Brutal.
Is this RG3, right? That's the
what I'm
low-hanging fruit. Any fan of the Commanders, that's what you think of. Like, that's what you think of.
Right, absolutely.
For the Patriots, Drake May, my one concern with him, his head hits the ground a lot.
Mm-hmm.
His head hits the turf a lot. And there's some games where I'm watching, and I'm like, how did this dude not get concussed?
Right.
So I look at Jaden Daniels for the first 2 years. Arguably the greatest rookie season we've ever seen from a quarterback. Then the second year, freak injuries. I look at Drake May, did more with less in year one. I'm just talking about him.
Right.
I'm not saying compared to Daniels,
No,
but
I gotta say.
he just did a ton. Stats weren't gaudy, but he had no offensive line and no weapons. Then in year two, gets better coaching, plays as an MVP level, was the runner-up for the MVP, still didn't have a ton around him.
No.
And had a improved offensive line, but still not a great offensive line. And did they get some breaks, but they still did go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if I'm a young player, you're right. I don't think it's so obvious. And it's, oh my goodness gracious, you definitely got to go play for Drake May and, over Jaden Daniels.
Right.
But right now, if you ask me who's going to be the better quarterback, I would say it's Drake May. And this is coming from someone who, leading up to the draft 2 years ago, when you had down the stretch, I was like, the Patriots lose. I wanted Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, my favorite quarterback from that draft class. But then you get Drake May, you fall in love with the guy. He plays well. His wife's a sweet gal. She does like all the cooking and all that stuff, which I love watching on TikTok. And the guy takes the team to the Super Bowl. So if I had to redo that draft, I would say Drake May would be 1. I would say Jaden Daniels is 2. I would put Caleb Williams 3. Daniels and Williams. Oh, it's so close. I could go Williams. I could go Daniels. I think we did this like 2 weeks ago. I forgot which one I said. But right now I go Daniels 2, Williams 3. Because with Williams, his best year got to a divisional round, which was this past year. And his numbers were good, but Jaden Daniels was the elite in that first year, and they got to a conference championship game. Now, Caleb didn't have a great first year. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And Jaden Daniels, then his second year, unfortunately, the availability was an issue. So just interesting in that Romeo Doubs, according to Jordan Schultz, entertained a tangible interest from the Commanders, and it was very close. In the end, he chose New England. Now, you want to take a guess. A name has emerged on who could be quarterback 2 this upcoming year for the Jets. The Jets have made a move for Geno Smith. They are looking to bring somebody else into that quarterback room to compete and be a backup, or maybe down the road start in this season. Do you have any concepts of who it is? Do you need a hint?
Are they an active player?
Yes, active player.
Okay. Backup, active player.
He did start some games this year. Do you need
I have no idea.
Can I give you another hint?
Yes.
This one may be tough, especially because you live in Texas to know this.
Okay.
The new offensive coordinator of the Jets is Frank Reich. Frank Reich has a long history with this player.
Oh, shit. I have no idea.
Carson Wentz.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess you're playing it safe.
Frank Reich likes a big quarterback. Frank Reich has been around with Carson Wentz for a while. Remember, brought him to Indianapolis, was there with him in Philadelphia when Frank was calling the plays, and Carson Wentz got drafted out of North Dakota State. As a backup, Carson Wentz is a fine backup. If he has to start 2 or 3 games, I'm okay with it. Anything more than that ends up being an issue. So you could have a quarterback room of Geno Smith and Carson Wentz this year for the JATS Jets.
That sounds about Jetsish.
Yeah, but here's the thing with Geno. So do I think Geno's this great quarterback? No. Did Geno salvage his career the last 2 to 4 years? Absolutely. Right. We wrote him off. And he won't write back, as he said after he beat, I believe it was, he beat the Broncos in that Seahawks-Broncos game earlier in the season years ago. But I look at Geno. Last year, I'll give him a pass. Ton of turnovers. The Raiders' offensive line stunk. Genty was getting crushed in the backfield. Yeah, you had Brock Bowers. Chip Kelly's a dinosaur. Pete Carroll's also a dinosaur. I think Geno could still get the ball down the field. Right. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Breece Hall. The Jets, who are a bad team, usually bad teams have bad offensive lines. The Jets' offensive line is in a serviceable spot right now. So I look at Geno Smith as a guy he's fine, right? Like look at you go to a restaurant and maybe you see chips and salsa on the menu. Like, would I rather have some wings? Would I rather have some sliders? Would I rather have some quesadillas? Yeah, I'd rather have quesadillas over chips and salsa. I'd rather have sliders over chips and salsa. I'd rather have wings over chips and salsa. I'd rather have an artichoke dip over chips and salsa. I like chips and salsa. Not against chips and salsa. But if someone at the table goes, yeah, I'll order chips and salsa, you're like, yeah, it's fine. Did I really need to go to a restaurant to get chips and salsa? Did I? No. What are you laughing about here?
I just think chips and salsa about hit a little different up north than it does in Texas. I think you're undervaluing chips and salsa here.
Yeah, you look red. You look like you just had like a certain pepper.
You're undervaluing chips and salsa.
I like chips and salsa. I sit on the couch. You put spicy salsa in front of me with chips. I'm a fat ass. I eat them. But if I'm going out to a restaurant, I'm expecting a little bit, like someone orders chips and salsa. I'm not saying no. Right. I'm not saying code red, don't do it. I'm saying they're fine. Bring out the chips and salsa. I like chips and salsa. But am I walking out of the restaurant as a satisfied customer over the chips and salsa? No, I'm going to be talking about the bacon blue cheeseburger that I had, or the steak that I had, or the wings that I had, or the quesadillas that I had. I'm not running out of the restaurant saying, oh, how about that chips and salsa that I had? They were delicious. But by the way, if you are a chip company or a salsa company and you want to sponsor the Zach Gelb Show, we'll make your chips and salsa more than fine. Yeah, like Geno Smith's a fine option this year. He's chips and salsa. Like, not going to be great. It's not going to be horrible. He'll have some bad moments. Like, you'll get some chips that they may be stale. And then you'll get some chips that are really good and crunchy. And you'll stick that chip right into the salsa and you'll scoop it into your mouth and it will taste delicious. Man, I'm sitting there and I go, what the heck did I do?
I was like, artichoke dip? Like, I got to get you to Texas.
You never had spinach artichoke dip?
I'm not touching that. You can't pay me to touch that.
You get spinach artichoke dip with like a pita chip? I do like chips and salsa. I do.
Okay.
Queso too.
Yeah, there we go.
You give me a spicy queso. All right. Kill one, marry one.
Okay.
F1.
Let's do it.
Chips and salsa. Spinach artichoke dip for your chips and salsa, or a queso. What would you do?
Marrying queso, killing artichoke dip, riding with chips and salsa.
So wait, say that again.
I'm getting rid of the artichoke dip. I will marry the queso, and me and the chips and salsa will be just fine.
Oh boy, I may have screwed myself here.
I see.
I think you do have to marry the salsa. Okay. Because it's just there. Like it's there. It's good. I'm not like, there's some days that you're loving the chips and salsa. There's other days you're like, okay, I'm just good. It's kind of like a marriage.
Okay.
The queso, you can't marry it, and the spinach artichoke dip, you can't marry it. And you want to know why?
Why?
It's too heavy. It's too fat. It's like you got to be around.
Need love, Jack.
No. I'm not saying. I'm not saying like you can't marry a plus size woman. That's not what I'm saying. Charles Barkley, those women in San Antonio. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, if I had to see spinach artichoke dip and queso every day, I feel like one fat son of a bitch.
I could definitely see that.
So that's why I went with chips and salsa marrying. Okay. Would I rather have the nookie time with the queso or the spinach artichoke dip? Oh, man, I do love me some queso. I think the spinach artichoke dip would be the F.
Yep. Takes an
and
L.
the kill would be the queso.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Spinach artichoke dip's fun. It's a good experience.
No, it's not.
You could maybe head and quit a little spinach artichoke dip. What a breakdown right there.
That was
YouTube, you know what?
that was
YouTube.com/@365sportsyt. YouTube.com/@365sportsyt. Subscribe. It is the Zach Gelb show right here on 365 Sports. Anything else did I miss here? I did not think that was going to go into a whole,
no.
chips and salsa.
Have not seen anything breaking.
Okay, so we got Geno Smith traded once again.
Yep.
And that's a 2026 7th-round pick to the Jets in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick. They restructured the deal, and Romeo Doubs, 4 years, $70 million to New England. All righty. I will say, the rest of the quarterbacks, though. So Malik Willis signed to the Dolphins. The foregone conclusion is that Kyler Murray's going to be going to the Minnesota Vikings. You'll probably find that out tomorrow. Tua Tagovailoa going to the Atlanta Falcons. Now Geno Smith going to the Jets. Got 2 quarterbacks that still remain. Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr. Garrett, Derek Carr, oh boy.
Oh, he's done.
Well, here's the thing. He was obnoxious.
Yes.
He's always been obnoxious. In this process, he's making this, and good for him, right? He drives people to his show. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe he's just intelligent. I'm an idiot and a moron and a dope, and that's why he has all these millions of dollars. But you got this sense that Derek Carr wanted back. And Derek Carr thought everyone was going to be eating out of the palm of his hand, and they were going to, because that's the thing. The Carr family, they think they're all the way up here. They think they're all great quarterbacks. That's what they are. Yeah, for all these years, I had to watch David Carr on NFL Network tell me his brother was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. His brother was a good quarterback, a fine quarterback. He was not a top 5 quarterback, rarely was a top 10 quarterback. He was serviceable for a tremendously horrible organization.
Yep.
But the brother and I get it, defending your brother. But the brother would just shove him down your throat all the time. Now, Derek Carr this, Derek Carr that, Derek Carr this, Derek Carr that. And then this podcast, I guess, that they do together. They're sitting there, and you're making it like, oh, I only am going to go to a Super Bowl contender. Buddy, you haven't won a damn playoff game in your entire career. And that would be like, you know what? I'm going to get into modeling. And you know, I'm going to go into bodybuilding. I demand to be in the world's strongest man competition. They take one look at me and they'd be like, who's this jabroni? Who's this knucklehead? That's what they would say. So Derek Carr, you could have gone to the Jets. Maybe you go to the Arizona Cardinals. Minnesota wasn't going to tango with you. But the idea that Derek Carr had these demands were always laughable to me. And is anyone going to take a bite out of the Derek Carr apple? It doesn't look that way.
No, even after he put himself out there for the Jets, I could be one of you.
He walked
they
back.
didn't even sniff it. Yeah, so that was kind of funny.
Yeah, he loved Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
And, he loves Jets fans and all that stuff. Oh man, that's always been my one bizarre rant that I had, because Derek Carr's not a bad guy.
Nah,
but I just, the Carrs have just annoyed me. Annoyed me.
That.
But I'm trying to think where he's going to go right now.
I don't think there's an option, dude.
Are you really coming out of retirement to be a backup? I don't think so.
I mean, that's probably your only. I don't see any. I don't think there's any starting jobs available. Even if somebody gets hurt, I don't.
Arizona,
maybe, but they kind of seem like they're making their bed with their situation without him.
Now, it would be. I agree with you on that. If, let's say, Tyler Shuck, because the Saints own his rights, let's say he gets hurt.
Yeah, which is.
Now, there was bad blood at the end between him and the Saints. So, but desperate times, you really want to play. They cause for desperate measures. I would probably say no. But the Cardinals are the one team out there. And you know what? Kirk Cousins, where is he going?
Yeah, that's a good point.
The Dolphins signed Malik Willis. The Jets just brought in Geno Smith. Kirk Cousins, you're going to go be in that quarterback room with Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson? That. I wonder, the Bengals as a backup, Joe Burrow gets hurt. It's not a bad destination.
I was kind of thinking too, I guess we need to see what's going to happen with Rodgers, but Pittsburgh's technically not off the board yet.
Yeah, and we'll play some of it later. There's this belief that if Rodgers doesn't come back, and I think everyone believes Rodgers is coming back.
It's leaning.
But if Rodgers doesn't come back, a lot of people tend to believe that then the backup there would be Kirk Cousins. So if it is Kirk, and it could be, I know Schefter was saying and Will Howard or whatever, but if McCarthy, you're really going into year one with Will Howard, I think you're just bringing Kirk Cousins for a year. So there's not really a destination out there that you look at and you go, okay, they got to go bring him in. Could he go back to Minnesota if maybe Kyler Murray falls through? Yeah, for Kirk, that's a possibility. But once Kyler gets signed, do you think he's going there with JJ McCarthy in that room? I would say no. So, guys like Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr, unless something unforeseen happens, it seems as if their market, they kind of been shut out. And for a guy like Derek Carr, you just stay in retirement. It's less humiliating. People will forget about what he said on the podcast. They've already have. When it comes to Kirk Cousins, maybe you just wait for an injury.
Yeah.
And then maybe you're like the Joe Flacco or something like that. That's another guy, Joe Flacco.
That's what I was wondering. Like Flacco, what's going to happen with him?
I bet you he goes back to Cincinnati.
That would make sense. I mean,
that's probably my guess.
Spot. Yeah.
Veteran, he still wants to hold the clipboard. Burrow gets hurt, which happens a ton.
Right.
You get, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown. There's a lot of weapons there in Cincinnati.
Yep.
So, Zach Gelb here with you on 360. We'll get into the belief level of some teams that missed the postseason last year and take a look at what your belief levels of them returning to the postseason or making the postseason this year in the early stages of free agency. And who knows in the next hour what other news is going to break. We just were on the air live for the Romeo Dobbs signing and also Geno Smith getting traded back to the JETS Jets. Take a time out, coming back after these short messages.
For the past 4 years, we have trusted Jackery to keep us powered while on the road. The Explorer 5000 Plus provides 5,040 watt hours of portable power to pair it with the smart transfer switch to power your entire house off the Explorer 5000 Plus.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
Number 1, the best bang for your buck. Number 2, we put out educational content. Number 3, our customer service and sales team. Number 4, we work to ship all orders out same or next day. Number 5, for reviews, let the gains begin.
Meet Beagle, your financial concierge. Find your old 401k. Discover your 401k hidden fees. Roll over and save thousands. Unlock your 401k and IRA. MeetBeagle.com.
The Lumi Charge is an all-in-one home desk lamp, speaker, and phone charger. It is a great...
I need that for my son when he goes off to college.
He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
All righty, welcome back in. It is the Zach Gelb Show right here on 365 Sports. Just a moment of clarification. The Romeo Dobbs contract, yes, it is a 4-year contract, $80 million. That's the max value of the contract. So it's actually a 4-year, $68 million deal with $12 million more available in incentives. So I guess the going rate for a number 2 wide receiver is that. And that's what the Patriots end up doing. But they have to go on out there and they have to go get A.J. Brown. And I still think they're going to get A.J. Brown. But if you're just having Romeo Dobbs as your number 1 wide receiver, that's a problem. He's your number 2 wide receiver? Fine. He ends up being your number one wide receiver. You made a lot of misses and mistakes in this offseason. And Brian Thomas Jr., that would be an interesting question, Garrett. Would you rather have Brian Thomas Jr. and I read reports last night he could be had for a 2. Now, that was the Giants and the Jets.
Right.
So they were bad teams. I don't know if you could just get him for a 2 if you're the Patriots because you're picking in the back end of the second round because the Patriots went to the Super Bowl this year. But if you could give up, let's say, the 31st overall pick for Brian Thomas Jr., or would you rather give up? Now, a lot of the reporting is, and I saw Josina Anderson said this, that the Eagles want a 2 this year and then a Patriots 1, not for this draft class, for next year.
Okay.
So would you rather do deal A or deal B? Deal A, Patriots get Brian Thomas Jr. I'm not saying they have to give up this, but let's just do it for the argument. They give up the 31st overall pick, or you get A.J. Brown for the second round pick this year and then a 2027 first round pick.
Ooh. Brian Thomas would give you possibly more longevity if you're the Patriots and what you're getting. But the impact that you could get from A.J. Brown right now might be worth it to capitalize on trying to win a Super Bowl. I might go A.J. Brown.
And A.J. Brown turns 29 in June, clearly has a familiarity with Mike Vrabel from their days at Tennessee.
I'd probably go A.J. Brown.
This is going to – I think you're going to laugh at this just because of how much I've been pushing A.J. Brown to the Patriots. I think I'd rather do the deal for Brian Thomas Jr.
But see, I'm not surprised because you have really been in on Brian Thomas Jr. I feel like he's your offseason version or your free agent version of the Jeremiah Love. You have been pounding the table for Brian Thomas Jr.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be great, but year one, the dude looked like a stud.
Yeah.
Now, in year 2, there's a lot of questions of what happened down there in Jacksonville. Right. Just like how there's a lot of questions right now about A.J. Brown. But if I put Drake May with Brian Thomas Jr., I do believe he's going to go back to year 1 Brian Thomas Jr. And the other thing is, contractually, he's a first-round pick, so you could have the right to pick up his 5th-year option. He's only played in the league for 2 years. So you get at least 2 to possibly 3 years on that rookie contract. Now, I know I'm not a dummy here. He goes out and has a monster year number 3. After year number 3, he's going to want to get paid. Yeah. But you don't have to pay him right away. No. You don't. If you're willing to just take on some of that heat and some of that noise, you do not need to pay him right away. So I wouldn't be annoyed with either.
Right.
But I think if it's just the 31st overall pick for Brian Thomas Jr. and then a first in 2027 and then a 2026 second round pick for A.J. Brown, I think I'd rather pull the trigger on that scenario.
Right.
On that scenario for Brian Thomas Jr. Now, if it was a 2026 first round pick and then a 2027 second round pick, I think I'd rather do the deal for A.J. Brown. Okay. Because the 2026 first round pick is a 31st overall pick.
Right.
Like the 2027 first round pick, I don't think the Patriots will be bad this year, but they're going to regress.
Yeah.
Like, are they probably going back to the Super Bowl? No. Are they probably picking 31 next year? No. If they're picking 32, I am doing the Macarena. I never need to see anything from my football team ever again. I will be the happiest person on the planet. Like, don't get it twisted here. But the odds of them getting back to that spot aren't good. The question just becomes, how far do they fall off? And one injury to the quarterback in Drake May, I don't think that they'll be the Commanders bad, how bad your football team was this year.
I don't know.
But they could be the Commanders next year.
Like, if Drake May gets hurt, they put a quarterback back there that's not able to, like – because
well, now hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. The Patriots' backup quarterback, you better be careful how you talk about him.
Oh.
Capiche? Tommy DeVito.
Look, I'm all for Tommy
Cutlets.
DeVito.
Tommy Cutlets. Who doesn't like a chicken cutlet?
I'm all for Tommy Cutlets, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man. I feel like you got to be careful there because I need to see more from Will Campbell. I've just watched him struggle the way he struggled this year, the past couple of years at LSU, and I'm not sold.
But here's the thing with Will Campbell. Will Campbell was good Will Campbell was like solid.
Oh, he's good.
He was before the injury. Then he came back from the injury and he looked like shit. So I think that injury, that MCL, just totally just crushed him. And also, look in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Chargers,
went up against some dogs.
The Broncos, the Seahawks. When you have some confidence issues, that's definitely a problem. But your football team had 5 wins last year.
I know.
Patriots.
I'm used to it.
I hate to say this. Because it really puts me in a bad mental spot.
Oh, okay.
If Drake May is out for the season next year, Patriots are going to win 6 games. They'll win 6 with Mike.
They might. You're also in the. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah, they win 6 games. I'm seeing right now the headline on ESPN: AJ Brown's future with the Eagles is uncertain. Signed through 2029. No guaranteed money left in the contract. I'm really tired of the AJ Brown stuff. I just want an answer.
Do you think it's like the more this lingers, I'm starting to feel like he might end up staying? Like I still think it comes this week. Like I wouldn't be surprised. I've been saying Wednesday. I would not be shocked if we have a determination on AJ Brown's future by tomorrow evening. But it's starting to kind of feel like the Eagles might be stuck with them another year.
I hope you're right in terms of that. We find out that he gets traded and he goes to my team, because it seems at this point it's the Patriots or bust.
It pretty much is, yeah.
It's Patriots or you go back with the Eagles. Howie Roseman, though, and he could wait. Howie does not need to trade him today.
Yeah.
But, like, how much of a prick are you going to be about this?
That's the thing.
You want a 2 this year, reportedly, and it's Justine Anderson reporting it, so I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But you want a 2 this year and then a 1 in 2027, right? So if that's the case, you're not getting that from anybody. Why doesn't a 1 and a 3 get that deal done? And if the Pats have to, if the Pats have to give a 2027 1 for it, then I don't really want to hear much else. Like a 1 and a 3 is fair. And if you're Philadelphia, they have leverage, but then you have reality, right? The Eagles have the player. The Eagles have leverage. But the reality of the situation is the player's not happy in your building anymore. The player doesn't get along with your quarterback anymore. You're not picking the player over the quarterback. You still got Devontae Smith. You still got Saquon Barkley. So, yeah, you do have the leverage that you don't have to move off of him, and you could go back to the well and do this. But do you think the issue is going to go away? Do you think A.J. Brown's problems, bringing in Sean Mannion, are going to go away? I don't. And that's why, I have a lot of experience with this issue because I've been around it. Not that I'm an Eagles fan, but I'm constantly in Philadelphia. I know a ton of Eagles fans. I was at the playoff game when he was pouting on the sideline with the Giants as they were winning, en route to a Super Bowl. I was at the playoff game. It was either the Packers or the Rams, I don't remember, where they're winning a game and he's reading a book on the sideline. I was, in some of those media scrums this year where it was a constant issue. And when you say it's an issue, there is always ways where it's not fractured at times and you could repair it. But this seems as if it's just not working anymore in Philadelphia. Can they sew it up together and make it work? Yeah. But there's a lot of pain and suffering here. There's also Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl appearances and a Super Bowl championship. But do I think you're getting back to that? No. And you got a quarterback and a wide receiver right now that don't like one another. I'd be curious about? I'd be curious to hear from Donovan McNabb. Maybe I'll text number 5. I'll try to get him on tomorrow at some point. Because I want to know from number 5, Donovan McNabb, who went through it with T.O. And this is, but he went through it with Donovan McNabb is saying. Like, Donovan McNabb believed that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown could coexist for another season. Because if that's the case, then maybe you do run it back. But with how much noise there's been around this, I still feel like it's not a matter of if, it's just going to be when he gets traded, A.J. Brown. But I don't think you're crazy, Garrett, for suggesting, even though I still think it's likely, when we've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and you see Max Crosby get dealt, and there was a ton of noise there. This is like one of those situations where, yeah, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, then it will get picked back up right before the draft. But this is one of those where I got A.J. Brown fatigue. I just want the answer because it's been more than just a week or two dance. This has been a 3 or 4 year dance.
No, it has. I mean, we knew it was going to be drawn out. We knew it was going to be a whole process. But as things unfolded, we kind of figured with it being top of mind up there with Crosby, that we would have seen it happen a little faster. But I still feel confident that by the end of the week, we're going to know where he's at.
So Bracket Cat asked me, is Derek Carr also chips and salsa? No, I have a higher regard of chips and salsa.
Good.
Than I do. I like chips and salsa, folks. Kind of my analogy, like it was just fine, and it sets the table. Like just how the Jets, they're setting the table to eventually get more food in place, aka another quarterback.
That
was the whole Derek Carr. That was the whole Geno Smith chips and salsa thing. It's fine. There's better things. It's good. It's solid. Some chips are good. Some chips are bad. But do I need chips and salsa at every meal? No, I don't need chips and salsa at every meal. No. What's the one thing that you need at every meal? There is something that I love that if they ever have it at a restaurant, obviously I sit there and I order it multiple times, like a fat slob.
So like something that I have to have, like I can't get somewhere very often, or like what do you mean?
No, like it's common, like a common, common thing at a restaurant. You don't got to overthink this one.
Common thing at a restaurant. I usually gotta go for chips and sauce and queso.
Bread basket.
Oh, you can't be.
You give me a bread
good
basket,
rolls or something.
Butter, olive oil, cheese.
That's a good one.
I could go through 3 or 4 bread baskets in one meal.
Bread baskets are good. I usually go for the bread, or I do go for chips and salsa queso. So that's probably about my only two.
They brought out a delicious loaf of bread this weekend. My parents came into the city. I took them out to this Mediterranean restaurant. I think it's called Barbunia, something like that. And they got a spicy feta dip. And you're just taking that bread and you're dipping it in the spicy feta. We go through one loaf. I go, I have a lot more spicy feta. I go, we need more bread. Go through the other bread. Still have spicy feta. Big portion of spicy feta. The lady goes, sir, do you guys want some cucumbers with that? Now, I go, yeah, I'll take some cucumbers. Also bring out another loaf of bread.
Right. You put a ballot or something?
Yeah, I love it. The cucumbers were delicious. They were delicious. But you don't like cucumbers?
Dude, I don't like vegetables or fruit. Like, we could have a whole segment on what I will not.
Do you have a weird palate?
Yeah, I'd have a texture issue where like I can't.
But have you tried these things?
I have tried a lot of things. Like I would love to be able to eat a strawberry or a grape. It's just not happening.
So there's, I told you about these guys, the Makeshift Project, Zach and Brian. I guess Brian has a very sensitive palate and he just refused to try things. So him and his girlfriend have been doing this 7 or 8 day series where they're just trying things. He tried sushi. You like sushi?
I've never tried it. I can't bring myself to try it.
Oh, wow.
If I knew it was like a legit one and it didn't have like one of those rolls or something with stuff mixed, I'm not doing that.
What do you mean? Like a big piece of sashimi?
No, like I don't want like a damn California roll or something with.
Now hold on. So what he does is like clam chowder, like he'll just try random things and he rates them on a scale of 1 to 10, but he like freaks out for every time he tries it. So you're telling me if I was like, hey, Garrett, could send you to the supermarket, Venmo I'll buy a cucumber one day. You try a cucumber live on the air. You think you could do it?
I mean, I could. I wouldn't enjoy it by any means.
No.
But yeah, I could do it. I could do it.
I don't know if it's because you think you won't enjoy it. I don't know how much you've tried this stuff.
I have. Dude, I'm telling you, I've tried a few things.
Which I'm a little bit surprised about. Because when we were out in San Francisco, this dude's sitting there eating duck.
Dude, that's the weird thing, dude.
You'll eat duck, but you won't try
I'll eat frog legs. I'll eat crawfish. Stuff. Yeah, but I'm not touching a damn cucumber or green bean or something. No.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So you don't eat any vegetables?
Not really.
So, like, for example, I'm making dinner tonight.
Okay.
So I have some couscous. I got chicken, like little small chicken meatballs, and I have some green beans, and I'm going to put them together. You wouldn't eat the green beans?
No.
How about broccoli?
No.
Oh, man.
No.
I love like burnt broccoli. Like I will put a little olive oil in a bowl, a little garlic salt on the broccoli, throw some pepper on there, put it on a tray, and put it in the oven for 20 minutes. You give me crispy burnt broccoli. Oh, delicious. I had Brussels sprouts. You want any Brussels sprouts?
Hell no.
Oh, my God. I went out for dinner last night with my girlfriend. We had like very small. It was like we just had like a few like little appetizers. Had crispy rice.
I'll try that.
Wasabi in it, which is a little spicy. It was good. I can't do avocado. I'm allergic to avocado.
I love avocados.
Yeah, I'll be in the bathroom. It's either coming out one way or coming up another way. So we did spicy. We did the crispy rice. It was like 2 or 3 pieces of it. Then we had Brussels sprouts. The Brussels sprouts were like well done, perfect. And then they had these little 4 grilled chicken lollipops that were good.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, they were good. I saw on the menu. Really I was going to get lamb chops, and I go grilled chicken lollipops. I go, you know what? Let me try that. It didn't like. I guess it's concepts of a chicken wing,
right?
But I wouldn't call it a chicken wing. What are those? Kebabs.
That's what I was thinking, like a skewer or something.
It would be like, if a skewer kebab had a baby with a chicken wing, that was that's what they had at this restaurant.
Okay.
So I thought it was good last night. This is the Zach Gelb food show. I'll tell you, as good as I do a sports talk show, I really think I could do a food show better.
Oh, dude, I know, like the breakdowns from the damn the Rangers games are remarkable.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and then that's fine. Like that's fine. You go to one of those all-you-can-eat places. That's fine. You get a little jumbo shrimp, some sushi, some steak. That's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
everyone can relate to that, right? Exactly. That's listening right now.
Everybody.
Zach goes, his life isn't long. Two-Tone Tony goes, his life isn't long for skipping vegetables. What does that mean? Is he just saying that you're not going to live long? That's a mean comment by Two-Tone Tony.
Hey, look,
Two-Tone Tony's a very nice man. And I don't know, Two-Tone Tony. Are you basically saying Garrett's not going to live long?
Hey, he might be on the surprised I've made it this long, bro.
I think Two-Tone Tony wants your job, if I'm just being honest.
Coming for me.
Two-Tone Tony, a long-time listener.
See you, brother.
Very good commenter. But, even Michael Jordan.
Pissed him off the other day. I made him mad with that Mets hat.
Oh, yeah? Well,
I noticed that.
Even Michael Jordan misses a shot here or there. That's like Two-Tone Tony when it comes to commenting. I'm a little bit... I haven't heard from Psych Mamter in a while. Psych Mamter, my old show, is like my most loyal listener. Psych Mamter, I could sit there, Garrett, and I could say, hey, Photoshop Garrett's face on like whatever with me punching him. And within 5 seconds, boom, it would be on my Twitter. I haven't heard from Psych Mamter lately. And Daly, too. Daly was here right in the beginning.
Yeah.
A few people think Daly got whacked. I don't think that was the case because Daly...
I don't think he got whacked. I think...
He got put in a timeout?
I think he's welcome.
Yeah, I would hope he's welcome. If you guys are blocking my listeners, I'm going to come down there to Waco, Texas, and give you a nice New York welcome.
Hey, he's welcome whenever.
But Daly, he was going after Smokey. I didn't understand why he was going after Smokey. There was no need to go after Smokey.
There was some stuff there.
But that's sometimes the things with listeners.
Yeah,
they love the show. Like I've been on obviously networks, and you'll have fights and barbs and jabs with the other shows on the network.
Right.
Now, part of it's a little entertainment. Sometimes it is true. Like what you're saying is you just don't like some of the other shows. But where I worked in my last job, I thought it was very healthy between the shows. But sometimes it's like you're a Zach Gelb guy.
Right.
So then like I come to this new network, 365 Sports. I know you guys, Smokey, Paul, Craig. Love those guys. I go on with them in football season for the last like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But listeners, they get in that mode of well, we were on the last show. We're ride or die with Gelb. So we're coming in, F this guy, F that guy. Boom, 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 boom. Like, we're going to mess you up. Yeah. And I think that's what happened a little bit with Daly. But,
I haven't
heard from Daly in a while.
He's welcome. He's welcome.
Yeah. I don't know. Two-Tone Tony says, is he blocked? I don't know. I just saw that.
I don't think he is.
See, like, there's also, here's the other thing. I'm not always in on the inside jokes with the listeners.
Right.
I'm not. So sometimes I'll see things and I go, wait, what happened? But I remember that people were like, oh, is not Two-Tone Tony, is Daly blocked? And I'm like, blocked? What are you guys talking about?
I put him in timeout one day.
Oh, did you? Don't put people in timeout.
I had to. I don't like doing it. Every once in a while, you got to. I had to put him in timeout. There's nothing big. Come back, bro. We're good. We're good.
You're like a parent. You're not a producer. You're a parent. I had to put him in timeout.
Like that's my whole life, bro. I've been a parent since I was 20.
Okay. Wow.
I'm used to it.
25 minutes past the hour here. We'll finally get to what we were going to talk about.
I know, we just ran. My bad.
No, it's not your bad. I'm the blind leading the blind here. That's just the way that it works. So I'm going to give you some teams that missed the playoffs last year in the AFC, Garrett.
All right.
Now, you look at Indianapolis. They re-signed Alec Pierce. We'll see when Daniel Jones comes back. He's on the transition tag. You look at the Baltimore Ravens. They traded for Max Crosby. They did lose Tyler Linderbaum. The Dolphins signed Malik Willis. The Bengals brought in Byron Cook. The Kansas City Chiefs signed Kenneth Walker, re-signed Travis Kelce. The Cleveland Browns, the Raiders, made some moves yesterday, but no one thinks they're going to playoffs anytime soon. The Jets just brought in Geno Smith, and the Tennessee Titans signed Wan'Dale Robinson. So those were the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams that missed the postseason last year in the AFC. The Colts, Ravens, Dolphins, Bengals, Chiefs, Browns, Raiders, Jets, Titans. I'm going to assume, if I just ask you the question, out of all those teams, who's most likely to make the playoffs next year? You're going to say the Ravens?
I was going to say the Chiefs.
You were going to say the Chiefs?
I was going to say the Chiefs.
Okay. So I thought you were going to say the Ravens, and I was going to follow it up. Then who would you say? And I then would have thought you were going to say the Chiefs.
Yeah. So, same teams, just different order.
So you take the Chiefs out of it. You take the Ravens out of it.
Right.
That leaves us with the Colts, Dolphins, Bengals, Browns, Raiders, Jets, and Titans. Who's then the most likely to make the playoffs out of that group?
Bengals. You got the best quarterback, Joe Burrow, left out of those teams. Now, I think you still need to shore up some things, but I'm going with the best quarterback in that situation.
Now, the defense stinks.
Yeah, they do.
Offensively, there's health concerns with Burrow. Division-wise, Ravens should win the division. Steelers are a strong 2. The Browns are clearly 4th. So you're going to have to get to that second spot to probably make the playoffs. Is it more likely that the Bengals are the second best team in the AFC North, or the Colts win the South?
Oh, the South, the Colts win in the South easier.
Because the Jaguars probably regress.
Yeah.
And the Texans, they've been solid. Oh, man. But Daniel Jones coming off that injury.
I think the Texans will be better. I think the Texans still win the South next year.
I'm going to agree with you with the Bengals.
I got to rob with.
Yeah, you know what the Bengals are?
What's that?
The Bengals are like roulette, where you put all your chips down, put all your cards down. You hit one number, woohoo!
Yep.
18 black. I got money. But you sit there for a while and you don't hit, you can lose $500 real quick.
Yep.
Man, my analogies, they're usually not spot on. Today, chips and salsa, and then they've been spot on today.
Spot on.
Corey Dickman and John Valade, I'm earning that paycheck today.
Yep.
There is no doubt about that. All right, NFC, let's do the same exercise.
All right.
Vikings are going to sign Kyler Murray. They missed the playoffs last year.
Okay.
The Lions, they just signed Isaiah Pacheco. And that's going to put him in a backfield with Jahmyr Gibbs. The Falcons, Tua is not going to be there. Good start early in the season, but eventually they'll bring back Michael Penix Jr. The Bucs saw Mike Evans leave. The Cowboys traded for Rashawn Gary. Maybe they're going to go still get Trey Hendrickson. The Saints, they just brought in Travis Etienne. The Commanders, who was it? Adafe Owe, right?
Yeah, that's really all.
4 years, $100 million. The Giants, they made some nice moves. Isaiah Likely being one of them. Tremaine Edmonds too. And the Arizona Cardinals are the Arizona Cardinals. Out of those teams, Vikings, Lions, Falcons, Bucks, Cowboys, Saints, Commanders, Giants, Cardinals. Who's most likely to make the playoffs that didn't make the playoffs a year ago?
Oh, man, either the Lions. I'll go with the Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions.
I would say the Lions as well won, and here's why. I know they had all the coordinator changes from a year ago. You still got Goff. You still got Laporta. Yep. You still got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got a lot on offense. The defense at times looked really good last year, and then when they were bad, they just stunk. But I still trust Dan Campbell.
Yep.
So I would say it's a Lions. Now, let's get three deep, just like we did with the last one. That leaves you with the Vikings, the Falcons, Tampa Bay, the Cowboys, the Saints, the Commanders, the Giants, and the Cardinals. Who's then your next team?
Man, it's either going to be you. I'm probably going to go the Cowboys, honestly.
Wow. Okay.
Because, man, I'm going between them, the Saints, and the Giants, and I'm trying to figure.
Interesting. Whoa. Not the Vikings? The Vikings were 9-8 last year.
I'm just not sold on them.
Okay.
I really like the hire of Harbaugh. I think the Giants are going to be really damn good in a couple of years. I think they're going to be really terrifying.
So pause. You're going the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We both took the Lions 1, right?
Right.
Okay. So Lions 1-1.
Yes.
You go with the Cowboys. I go Minnesota.
Okay.
I think Kyler Murray will go there, and they could go win 10, 11 games. They can make the postseason. Now, the NFC is going to be tough to still make a postseason. If you win 10 games, you win 11, you should be in.
Yeah.
Your third team are the Giants then?
Yeah, I'm going to ride with the Giants.
Over your Commanders?
Yeah, dude, I don't trust Washington right now, man. And it sucks. I'm just going to be I can't BS you. I would love to say, yeah, Washington's going to run it. But, dude, the way the Giants are built for the future scares the hell out of me. Dallas looks somewhat competent, half-ass competent. I just see them kind of splitting with Washington. They always do. But Philly's just so much further ahead of everybody.
So I look at this. I would love to say an NFC South team because I don't think
that's one of the Saints where I was like, but I just
but it's like kissing your sister or something like that. It's like you win the NFC South. It's okay. So I'm gonna cross off the Falcons, the Bucks, and the Saints. Although it's probably likely that one of them do make the playoffs because you tell me the Panthers are the field in the NFC South. Even though the Panthers just brought in Jalen Phillips, even though they just also brought in the linebacker too, Devin Lloyd.
Yeah,
they made some nice moves. I still don't have this great belief and conviction in Bryce Young yet.
No, I think the Saints are going to win the South. I still think that next year.
You know what?
What?
I actually kind of agree with you on the Cowboys.
I'm telling you, dude.
So the Cowboys will probably win 10 games next year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They'll probably win at least 10 games. I don't know if they're going to win more than 10 games.
Probably not.
But probably they will win 10 games next year when you got Dak, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got George Pickens on defense. You'll have now a full year of Quinnen Williams. You got Kenny Clark there. You brought in Rashawn Gary. Maybe they go out there and they go sign Trey Hendrickson.
Maybe.
10 wins doesn't guarantee you the playoffs in the NFC, but it's not this crazy thing to say that the Cowboys are going to win double-digit games next year. Oh. And I think they're going to win 10 games. They got a heck of a quarterback. They got two really good wide receivers. They could run the football too.
Yep.
Defense, got to be better, but Matt Eberflus is out of there. So if Parker does his job the way it can't get any worse.
Right.
That defense is just serviceable.
Yeah.
They should win 10 football games next year.
They should.
So I'll go Dallas there. All righty. Zach Gelb here with you on 365 Sports. We got some video to play for you on the other side. You heard from Adam Schefter on the latest with Trey Hendrickson. Adam Schefter's latest on Aaron Rodgers. And then we'll wrap the show talking some UFC. A lot of stuff from this UFC White House card that was announced over the weekend. Jon Jones and Dana White fighting. We will get to all that when we continue after these short messages.
Do you have a second?
Yeah, come on in.
Thanks. I'm having an issue with Ralph.
With Ralph?
He keeps stealing my lunch.
He's just researching new flavors.
That is slow smoked turkey.
Ralph steals my lunch all the time. You get used to it.
He also peed on my bag.
He is warming up to you. You know, starting a new job, it's a big change. I want you to think about how you can be more accommodating to Ralph. We're all co-owners here.
If I'm only wearing one suit this summer, it has to be Tuileries Performance Linen. It's wrinkle resistant, machine washable, and built with stretch and breathability that actually moves with you. It'll keep you cool, sharp, and stress-free at your next event.
What does being different mean to me? You know, that is an interesting question.
Because there really isn't one way. There's a bunch of different ways you could do it.
But love is passion. Something you can't live without.
What do you want? You know, what's that really good non-alcoholic beer I keep hearing about?
Do you have that really great non-alcoholic beer that I keep seeing?
You mean athletic? You're looking at it.
It's athletic. Ask for it.
He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
Yo, Garrett, do me a favor here. It is a Zach Gelb Show on 365 Sports. Oh, that says Skeens on your shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What'd you think it said?
Well, I didn't know what you were wearing. But take a look at your Twitter mentions real quickly.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Okay.
I just tagged you on something.
Okay.
So Two-Tone Tony heard the love that I was giving Moist Mike about his Photoshop abilities.
Oh, Jesus.
So he has made one of you and I just doing the show. But it says SKINGS. And I'm like, what the heck is he wearing? But that's pretty damn good of the two of us.
Hey, that's not bad, dude.
Some would say it's the best we've ever looked, honestly.
You know what? You might not be wrong.
But you know what? Two-Tone Tony has pointed a flaw out of mine right now.
What is that?
And I don't know if anybody else knows it. I don't know if it's noticeable.
Ooh.
But it comes up in this photo that he just sent to us. So in the photo, I am holding my headphone in. I don't know. When I was at my other place of employment, I had these same headphones. And I don't know if it's because the mic right now, if the headphone is plugged into the mic and I'm moving all around and that's why they're falling out of my ears. But usually the jack was like right below. I can't keep these damn headphones in my ears.
We're going to hook you up with something, man.
Well, I have these great.
Well, yeah, I remember those yesterday.
I had these great Bose headphones. Right? Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I went to go plug them in though yesterday. I couldn't hear crap. I charged them, still couldn't hear crap.
Could you hear me, or could you just not hear yourself?
I could hear you, but
See,
I couldn't
that's
hear
how
myself.
These are. Like I cannot hear myself.
I can't do a show without hearing myself.
Yeah.
It's just I'm used to it. I'll feel naked.
Yeah.
I'll feel absolutely naked.
I hate
but
it. Yeah.
but Two-Tone Tony has me going like this. So maybe that's just maybe when he got the screen grab, or maybe he's just pointing out one of my insecurities right now when I'm hosting the show. But one of my old bosses, Spike Eskin, I used to have these like big clunky headphones.
Right.
And he goes, "You're on TV, at the time on CBS Sports Network." He goes, "You're on YouTube." He goes, "You got to get rid of the big clunky headphones. They like more of the wired headphones because it's not as, I don't know, long." I think that's so stupid. Have you ever watched
aesthetic thing?
I love Spike. Spike was great to me. Have you ever tuned in on social media or on TV and you see someone with big headphones on and you go, "Oh, I'm going to change the channel because of that"?
No, I never have.
But hey, he's been very successful. So I followed what he said. I was at a stage in my career where I was like, I'm just going to follow. All righty. Let's get to Adam Schefter. Well, maybe we'll monitor what his headphones look like. He was talking about Trey Hendrickson. This was on Get Up earlier this morning and why we've not seen a deal come to fruition yet for the former Cincinnati Bengals star pass rusher.
I'll start with this. There's one huge name we're still waiting on. I mentioned it. The shoe to drop is Trey Hendrickson. What is the latest we're hearing on him?
Well, here's the situation, Greeny. He's been in contact with a number of teams right now. The issue, I think, is this. You see the Houston Texans go out and give Danielle Hunter a $40 million a year extension. You see yesterday the Carolina Panthers shock the NFL and give Jalen Phillips $30 million a year. Trey Hendrickson sees himself in the company of those kinds of players. And so you would think that there would be a corresponding contract in that vicinity. But if there's not a team out there that's willing to give you $40 or $30 million, sometimes it takes a player a little bit of time to understand how the market works like that and to accept that just because Danielle Hunter might get 40, you might not get 40. Just because Jalen Phillips gets 30 doesn't mean you get 30. And so right now he's talking to a bunch of teams, but nobody has met his price just yet. And he's a very strong-minded, prideful person. He wants to get his price, and until he feels like he does, he's not willing to compromise on that.
If I'm Trey Hendrickson and you don't sign by today, I wonder how long he's going to wait for his price. And this has been a mess the last few years with Cincinnati. Now he's trying to go somewhere else. Could he just be deliberating further and he wants to be like the signature signee because everyone would know all these signings already right at 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow? I guess that's possible. But how long are you willing to wait? And maybe you just fatten it up and go a one-year deal, fully guaranteed to a team instead of going a 2, 3, or 4 year contract. I don't think it's going to be 4 years. I think that it's either a 1 year, a large sum of salary for 1 year, or maybe it's 3 with an out after 2. But it could be a bigger number than what it actually is. And I would imagine that teams are just going to front load that contract. Now let's go to Adam Schefter, who you don't see his headphones, by the way. Adam Schefter talking about the future of Aaron Rodgers.
Tea leaves and do all of the dots that you connect in your head suggest that Aaron Rodgers is going back to Steelers?
Well, here's what I would say, Greeny. I think that they want him to return. They've been open about wanting him to return. Everybody on the team, the players, has wanted him back. But the fact of the matter is it's got to come from Rodgers. It hasn't. So let's just for a moment operate in a universe in which he decides that he doesn't want to come back. And I think that they're hopeful and optimistic that he will come back. But if he doesn't, I think that where they go from there, people won't love this, but I think that they believe that they have a quarterback prospect in Will Howard. Now, it's hard to bank your whole season on a quarterback we haven't seen play in the regular season, but they believe that they have something in Will Howard, and they believe Mike McCarthy's strength is developing good, young, smart quarterback. I'm just telling you what they think.
Yeah.
Okay. And that doesn't mean they wouldn't. It doesn't mean they wouldn't add another quarterback, but they're hoping Rodgers comes back, and if he doesn't, they would then be prepared to have Will Howard and Mason Rudolph on the roster. They obviously would have to add somebody else, but it's the reason that I think they don't feel rushed and compelled to go out and add anybody right now.
That clip, Garrett, is gold. And it's gold not for anything that Schefter said.
It's the background faces.
Orlovsky looked like he just ate something funky, which Orlovsky does not eat a lot of things funky. Then I think that was Dan Graziano, who also was like, oh, my, Will Howard, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then I believe that was Dominique Foxworth. I think that was who the other guy was. He looked like he wanted to barf in a bag, too.
I thought he was going to fall
Will
out the
Howard. I'm sick of the song and dance with Rodgers. I know Rodgers be like, well, I'm just taking my time. This is a future decision, blah, blah, blah. Rodgers loves being a whore. He's a whore. He always has been a whore. He always will be a whore. He's a whore. That's what Aaron Rodgers is. He's a sports whore. He loves the attention. He wants you to throw money at him and he shakes his ass. That's what Aaron Rodgers is. And he loves because he's shaking that ass right now and people are throwing money at him. He loves that right now. He loves the attention. We all know what's going to happen. He's going back to Pittsburgh. If he doesn't play for the Steelers next year, I will be stunned, absolutely stunned. Will Howard's not going to be the starting. Will Howard's starting quarterback is if Aaron Rodgers gets injured.
Yeah.
And even if Aaron Rodgers says, okay, I'm going to retire, and Zach, you were wrong with all you said about me. You were fake news. I bet you they signed Kirk Cousins. That would be my guess. All right. Yeah. I don't think there's a talk show host in America that was probably more involved with the future of Jon Jones as it pertains to Dana White and the UFC than me. I've had multiple conversations on the record on shows with Dana White in the last year plus. And I really do believe Dana White went from Jon Jones is the greatest fighter ever, pound for pound, the best fighter of all time. Dana's words, I can't trust Jon Jones for the White House card. And trust me, there's a lot of reasons why you can't trust Jon Jones. Just like how there's also a lot of reasons you can't trust Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor isn't on the White House card, but Dana was like, oh, I trust Conor more than I trust Jon Jones. I don't trust either. I do not trust either. At this stage of their careers, I do not trust Jon Jones. I don't trust Conor McGregor. But Dana had it with Jon Jones when Jon agreed to fight Tom Aspinall after originally saying no, and they came to an agreement, and then Jon pulled out on that because Jon was ducking Tom Aspinall, and eventually Tom did go on to lose. That has the eye issue, and people aren't really pushing for Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. But I think Dana, once Jon retired and ran away from Tom Aspinall, he's like, I'm done with Tom. I'm done with Jon. And then, Jon wants to go in for the White House card. Well, you didn't give me what I wanted, so I'm not giving you what you wanted. Now, could they have had conversations recently? I know Dana denies that. I think it's possible. To what extent of those conversations being close to seeing Jon Jones in the White House card, that I do not know. But I was at a press conference where I asked Dana White about Jon Jones, and he said, I can't trust him. And he looked at me in the eyes and said, there's 1,000,000,000 chance that Jon Jones is going to be on the White House card. Then I was in Vegas with Dana in person in September for the Canelo Crawford fight. And I asked him again. And he said, Jon Jones, he revealed on my show that Jon Jones called him or texted him and apologized. And I said, does that open the door for Jon to be in the White House card? He said no. And he went on this whole spiel about Conor McGregor more. Well, the White House card came out over the weekend. No Jon Jones, no Conor McGregor. Got neither. So let's hear from Dana White. As the UFC was going on, they released the White House card that's going to happen, I believe, in June. And this is Dana White on the future of Jon Jones.
Speculation, of course, that it's Jon Jones.
No, it's not.
Was Jon
ever, which I told you guys 100,000 times, was Jon Jones even remotely in my mind to fight at the White House? I wouldn't. First of all, I've told you why I wouldn't do it. And number two, some guy with, meta glasses on filmed him talking about his hips, that his hips are so bad. And I don't know if you guys saw that flag football game where he can barely run. Jon Jones he retired because of his hips. He's got arthritis in his hips. Add that on top of all the other reasons that I wouldn't. The Jon Jones thing is bullshit. I'm not saying they weren't talking to Jon Jones and that Jon Jones wasn't interested in the fight. And what was even crazier is Jon Jones came out and was like, I'm in negotiations right now for the White House fight, after I had already sent a text to his lawyer saying, never going to happen ever.
Is it fair to say then Jon Jones is retired and this is the end of his time?
Yes.
Okay.
Very fair.
So Jon then takes to Twitter. He said, hey, everyone, I wanted to address Dana White's comments from this past weekend because the truth matters to me and the fans. Dana, you're heated about why I'm not on the White House card, but let's clear something up. My team and I were actually negotiating with the UFC for that fight. Real negotiations even came down from my original number, and what I was offered in return, I was lowballed. Yes, I have arthritis in my hip, and it's painful, but that doesn't mean I can't fight. So let me get this straight. I had accepted the lowball offer. If I had accepted the lowball offer, suddenly my hip would be fine, and I'd be on the White House card. That doesn't make sense. I even received stem cell treatment last week to get ready for the White House card, and training camp is scheduled to start today. I was preparing to be ready. I understand business deals fall through sometimes, but going out publicly and saying things that aren't true isn't right. After everything I've given to the UFC, the years, the title defenses, the fights, hearing done is disappointing, especially when, as recently as Friday, UFC was trying to get me the White House card for a much lower number. If UFC truly feels like I'm done, then I respectfully ask to be released from my contract today. No more spins, no more games. Thank you to the real fans who know what's up. Bones out. That's from Jon Jones. So not only was Jon Jones out on the White House card, and I wasn't expecting Jon to be on the White House card. A lot of people thought Conor McGregor was going to be on the White House card fighting Michael Chandler. Here we go again. This is Conor McGregor and why he was not going to be on the White House card.
Factor in gates and secondary sales. They don't usually put me on UFC 200 or 300 or the Sphere. They usually put me on UFC 201 or 301. You know, like a double sale thing. That's the White House was going to hit no matter what. Who the fuck gives a fuck who we put on it? And then wheel McGregor out for the second one. So we double our economic take. We can't decide what these men do, you know, and I don't want to. They, you know, I don't doubt them. It's like in this current climate, we're all cattle. Yeah, all these fighters were all cattle. I just happen to be free range. I'm like Wagyu walking around the fucking farm.
Let's go to Dana White on Conor McGregor, why he wasn't on the White House card.
Is there any update on Conor McGregor? He did a podcast today with Chael Sonnen saying that he probably won't fight on the White House because of the amount of revenue he could bring in. So is there any update on when or if he'll fight again?
No, but we are definitely talking to Conor, obviously.
But there's no like timetable. You just okay.
Not even close.
Here's what I'll say about Jon Jones and Conor McGregor. I'll believe that either are going to fight again when they're in the octagon and Bruce Buffer is announcing them. Until then, I'm sick and tired of talking about Jon Jones because it's been a big song and dance. And Conor McGregor, ever when the Chandler fight didn't end up happening, it's been a big song and dance as well. And then I was told, oh, he's going to be in the White House card, and then he wasn't. So when those two guys get back in the octagon and they're getting ready to fight, that's what I believe that they're actually going to fight and that they'll make their return to UFC. And then finally, Justin Gaethje is going to fight Ilia Topuria on the White House card. And we had Justin Gaethje on at Radio Row, and he talked about like how he's going to retire by some point in the middle of 2027. But, you know, if he wins a big fight, maybe he retires. If he gets knocked out, you know, maybe he retires as well. Topuria Gaethje is going to be a heck of a fight. Justin Gaethje, though, was surprised that he actually made it on the White House card because he revealed that he was a late addition.
2 days ago, I got a call and they said, you're definitely not fighting on the White House card. So I was like,
Wow, really?
Cool.
Okay.
And then yesterday I got a call and they said, you might hear something. You might be on the White House card. And I was like, how are you going to go complete 180 turn on me? And then today I found out that I was on it. I didn't know if I was main event.
Really? Oh, so it was a big secret. Even the fighters really didn't know.
Well, the fight that fell through reportedly, or just what speculation is on Twitter, is that it was supposed to be Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. And Islam, I've seen him fight in person. I know he's great. I just, the fight I saw him at the Prudential Center, I thought it was very boring. So Ilia Topuria put out this whole statement how Islam's ducking him and he made up some injury and then his manager, and then you had the clapback from Islam. So you're going to end up getting Justin Gaethje and Ilia Topuria, but that wasn't supposed to be the fight. One last thing, and then we got to get on out of here. Garrett, going back to our Brian Thomas Jr. Reports from Adam Schefter, despite speculation, the Jaguars have not been interested in trading Brian Thomas Jr. That is per Adam Schefter. According to him, right now the Jaguars are not interested in trading Brian Thomas Jr. So let me tell you something, New England, wheeling and dealing Wolf. You got me Romeo Dobbs, good number 2. Go get me AJ. Get me AJ Brown. That was weird. What's going on in the background there?
I don't know. There's a lot of movement. You know,
I said that. I heard like a yawn or a moan. I'm like, please. I just delivered you great content for about 2 hours. This is the Zach Gelb Show right here on 365 Sports. Big thanks to Andrew. Big thanks to Garrett. Big thanks to Logan for helping everybody out today. We'll be back tomorrow for a Wednesday show. Oh, poll question. Will the Raiders draft picks and spending spree be enough to spark a playoff run? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. 12%. Yes, they're contenders. 43. Wild card at best. 45%. No same old Raiders. I feel bad saying no same old Raiders. And I like, drafting Mendoza. You got Genti. You got Linderbaum. You got Bowers. Nakobe Dean's a good signing. So I don't want to say they're the same old Raiders. And I know people have gone to the outhouse and the penthouse real quickly. We've seen young quarterbacks coming and they have success. I'm not ready to say for this upcoming year that they're going to be a playoff team. So until the Raiders show you they're different, even if they're providing hope and belief that maybe this is different, you got to kind of think that they're the same old Raiders. That will do it for the Zach Gelb Show. We'll be back tomorrow from 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central Time right here on 365 Sports. Follow me, Twitter and Instagram at Zach Gelb, ZACHGELB. Also on TikTok at the Zach Gelb Show. And subscribe right here, folks. YouTube.com/@365SportsYT. YouTube.com/@365SportsYT. Subscribe. Talk tomorrow, everybody. We out. Bye-bye. Peace.